This is Doug McMillan, and you're watching Whose Time?
提起沃尔玛，这家由美国零售业传奇人物山姆·沃尔顿于1962年创立的公司，人们脑海中一定会冒出几个之最：世界上最大的连锁零售商、最大的私人雇主、世界500强榜首以及最具价值的品牌等等。沃尔玛于1996年进入中国，在近20年的发展中，已经在全中国开设了401家商场，创造了约9万个就业机会。中国市场也已经成为沃尔玛在美国之外的最主要的战场之一。沃尔玛的 CEO 每到一个国家都会去巡店，既巡视4家店面，也会去考察竞争对手的店面。不久前，沃尔玛 CEO 董明伦到访中国，他又去了哪些店铺取经呢？
Where you have gone or plan to go to visit as usual this time?
Well, I've been to Beijing quite a few times over the years, and yesterday as I was in some stores, our Sam's Clubs, which do a very nice business here in China. And a few months ago, I was in Shenzhen and Shanghai, and over the years, I've been around the country into different cities and been in our stores and been in our competitors, trying to learn and understand customers and understand what they're thinking about. Yesterday, we stopped and talked to some of our customers, including a mom who was there shopping with her young child. And I asked her what we could do to make our store better. And the first thing she talked about was e-commerce. And how in some cases she can find more assortment online, and in one case or two find a lower price online. And so in our case, not only do we have to make sure our stores are very competitive with other store operators, but we also have to make sure that as we bring our websites and our business together and our stores together, that we serve serve customers better than others.
In China, like Taobao or JD are Walmart's competitors. Have you checked out the local internet competitors?
Sure. It's fun because wherever I am in the world, I can jump on someone's website and learn more about what they're trying to sell that particular day. You may know we have a business in Shanghai, based in Shanghai, but now in other cities as well, named Yihaodian. And Yihaodian is a pure e-commerce company that we invested in a few years ago. And we're experiencing tremendous growth in our business with Yihaodian. And a few months ago, I was there and we went to an apartment complex in Shanghai. And this apartment complex had more than 80,000 people living there, which is just, an amazing number to me. I'm still getting used to how many people are here and how much opportunity there is here. But in this case, Yihaodian had innovated and created a collection center in this apartment complex so that people that lived there could come down and pick up the items that they had ordered online or on the mobile app. And we also had delivery people that were picking up those orders and taking them and delivering them up to apartments. So in some cases, we operate stores. In some cases, they're super centers and larger stores. In other cases, we may serve customers through e-commerce sites or through collection points.
But when we can see the full assortment available on this website?
Yihaodian is already playing an important role, and I think it will in the future. Over time, the way the e-commerce business and the way stores work together, including here in China, is the way that we will provide the best assortment of services to customers. So we want to win purely in e-commerce. We want to also operate the best stores. But the thing that's unique about Walmart is that we can put both of those things together.
What's your general comments about your China's business? Because China is the number 2 for emerging market business, just behind, next to Mexico.
China is one of our most important emerging markets, absolutely. And over time, I think it will probably be one of the most important markets for us generally around the world. It's a priority market for us.
Priority.
We've been here since 1996.
You are going to close stores, right?
We do close stores from time to time. We've closed stores in the United States. Last year, we closed some stores in Brazil. It's difficult to get every one of them right. And we use a lot of data to help us site our stores, to help us choose our locations, everything from population and spending levels to thinking about how people shop. And in some cases in China, we got it wrong. And we have to kind of close as we go for those underperforming stores because they put pressure on the rest of the system.
So you want to maintain the size so far, scale so far you have reached, and also closed some stores?
We're going to grow more than we close stores. In fact, over the next 3 years, we've announced we're going to open another 100 stores. So that'll take us from about 400 to 500. But it's not unusual for a retailer to close stores from time to time. Our stores will continue to change to be relevant in the future. Here in China, for example, our stores provide delivery. So if customers would prefer to have delivery instead of coming in the store to shop, they can do that. What we've learned from around the world, and the UK is further ahead than our other markets, so I'll use the United Kingdom as the example. Our customers have had the opportunity to have groceries delivered to their home for around 15 years. The last few years, we've been adding drive-thrus and pickup locations to our stores, and yet the in-store shopping component is still more than 90% of our business, 90. So customers do want stores. And now here in China, those percentages may be different 5 years from now and 10 years from now. But what we will do is provide all of those services, delivery capability, increasingly pickup capability. In some countries, it's referred to as click and collect, as well as the opportunity to come into the stores and shop. If you want to come in and pick out the fresh fish you're having for dinner that evening, or make sure that you touch the tomato before you take it home, you can still do that by coming into one of our stores.
事实上，沃尔玛从未忽视过科技的力量。上世纪70年代末，公司就开始使用计算机进行管理。80年代初，又购买了商业卫星，实现全球联网。而近年来，他收购了许多互联网公司，并在加州圣布鲁诺设立了自己的实验室。
The acquisitions you're referring to, many of which are in Silicon Valley, are related to us adding capabilities to our business so that we can serve customers in a more effective and more efficient way. I think you can expect us to continue to look for opportunities to pick up talent through acquisitions. Some of the acquisitions that we've made were to try and pick up some great leaders and talent that can deliver services to customers in a digital way that we wouldn't otherwise be able to deliver. Those acquisitions have helped us improve our product search capability online. They've helped us improve in terms of reducing the amount of fraud in our business through the use, in some cases, of big data. In many ways, Walmart is a bit of a technology company. We've always been on the cutting edge in retail. We've done things in the past like this product we call Retail Link, where we released all of our information to our supplier base so they could help us stay in stock and anticipate customer demand. And that sharing of data, that openness, was breakthrough at the time. And we'll continue to look for opportunities to lead just as we have in our past.
Who is Walmart's largest challenger? Is a physical challenger traditional mega chains such as Tesco, Carrefour, or is new wave internet giants like Amazon?
All of the above. Around the world, we compete with a lot of terrific retailers, both online and in stores. And there are many strong competitors, and they're getting better. The pressure on us to continue to improve as a business is very strong. And the good news is that ultimately the customers are going to win. Whoever serves them best, that's where they're going to go. So we're trying to learn from our competition and are very humble about the fact that we still have a lot to learn. What can we learn? What are they doing for customers that's better than what we're doing? How do we take advantage of that and create a situation where we're serving our customers better than anyone else and attracting new customers at the same time?
But e-commerce actually is very popular and also very convenient, but e-commerce cannot make the same profits like the traditional one so far. So how does Walmart strike a balance between expanding into e-commerce while maintaining profit?
Great question. Our first priority is to be positioned to serve customers. And if we're relevant in the future and have some level of sales volume, we will figure out how to generate a fair return for our shareholders over time. Our philosophy, you may know, all the way back to the very beginning, has been to sell merchandise at a very low margin.
除了来自电商的挑战，沃尔玛内部也问题不断。沃尔玛中国近来频频被食品安全问题困扰，比如深圳沃尔玛就被曝光熟食用油1个月不换。
Chinese customers are very concerned about we call the double standards, especially for food security and other things?
We have one standard around the world. And here in China, we've taken a number of steps to improve the safety and quality of the food that we offer, which is very important to us. A number of things, I won't be able to list them all, but one of the important things that we've done is to reduce the number of suppliers that we do business with so that we can make sure we've got the highest quality suppliers. We're also investing in distribution centers. Over the last few years, we've added a few distribution centers, and we're now up to 17 in total, with several of them focusing exclusively on fresh and perishable product. And what that enables us to do is to do a better job of inspection at more of a central point to make sure the product coming into our supply chain is of the highest quality and what we ordered. That enables us to then control the quality of that product as it moves through to our stores. Also, technology at store level is an important part of the process. And recently, in the US and now in a couple of stores in China, we've started to pilot a new technology with a handheld device in our stores that gives our store associates the ability to know when to inspect fresh food, to check the temperature levels. It's so important that hot food be kept hot and cold food be kept cold, and that supply chain not be broken. And this device has a thermometer on it that enables you to take the temperature of that item to make sure that hot food is kept hot, for example. And it records the temperature of the product and when we took it, and helps associates remember to check the quality of that product on the floor. Now, I'd love for you to come to one of our stores and to see what we're doing. A lot of the work happens before it gets to the store, but what happens in the store is also really important. We've been using mobile labs to do more DNA testing, and we've committed an investment over the next 3 years of over 300 million renminbi to make sure that we're putting the resources behind this very important issue.
I remember Walmart had called a Sustainable Summit in China, its own in 2009. And how has Walmart done on its efforts in the last few years to green its Chinese supply chain, to green it?
One of the great things about working at Walmart is that the size of the company helps us be able to influence our supply chain in a positive way. As a company, we have some big objectives related to becoming more sustainable ourselves, the way we use energy, for example, the amount of waste that we're trying to eliminate in our system. And then also, as it relates to the supply chain, the factories that we work with, the farmers that we work with, we are collaborating with them to raise the standards of every aspect of our supply chain, how things are grown, how things are made. So the summit that you're referring to was just one of the summits that we've held over the last few years as we try to influence the supply chain to become more sustainable. We're sharing our IP. We're trying to challenge factories to reduce the amount of energy they're using, to make sure that their standards related to people and how they treat their own employees are appropriate, that people get paid for overtime when they're working overtime.
In the pursuit of sustainable development and maximizing the profit, is there a trade-off?
No, actually, sustainability helps us have a business that responds well over the long term. It enables us to grow. We went through a perspective change a few years ago, and as we leaned into sustainability and started to learn more about it, and NGOs and university professors and others, by the way, helped us to learn and helped influence our perspective. We figured out that eliminating waste not only was good for the environment, but it helped us reduce cost and be more efficient. We learned that investing in LED lighting, and actually I believe our very first store in the entire company that used LED lighting on the sales floor was here in Beijing a few years ago. We learned that not only was that technology more sustainable, but it also was more cost efficient. So we're convinced that being a more sustainable company over time is good business.
Walmart has been in the medical business for a long time, from pharmacy to insurance, now in clinics. Can you talk more about this? And do you have any plan in China on this area?
Yeah, sure. Walmart is in the health and wellness business. And as you said, we've got a large and important pharmacy business in several countries, including in the United States. We're also in the optical business, and we have some hearing clinics, and we have a few medical clinics where licensed nurse practitioners provide a few basic services. Here in China, we probably still have a lot to learn about what we're able to do in the health and wellness field, but like the mom I met yesterday in one of our stores, I bet she would want to take advantage of health and wellness offerings if we had them in our store. And as populations around the world age, in some cases, I was in Japan on Monday, and that's a primary example. Health and wellness presents a great business opportunity for us.
Okay, so will do, but not yet.
More to come.
Walmart has its own unique culture and has in the past always been able to retain staff loyalty, like you, the example. But recently, in the era of internet, staff find it much easier to switch jobs. So do you see this as a big challenge for Walmart, and how do you tackle this problem?
I think it's exciting. It may not be obvious to you, but retail is an amazing business. It's very broad, and it's one of the things I didn't understand about it until I kind of got into it. But we touch marketing, logistics, finance, now increasingly technology and e-commerce. The supply chain is obviously very important, and how we work with suppliers. I mean, the opportunity to travel the world and visit factories and be in stores and understand customers and watch customers talk about us on social media and understand what they're thinking about and how they're behaving. There are just so many rich aspects to our business that it makes it very interesting. And for me personally, and also for quite a few thousands, tens of thousands of associates in Walmart, we've had many careers while working for the same company. I've gotten to work in our domestic business, on our international business, and our warehouse club business, Sam's Club, and our retail business. It's just extraordinary. And it keeps you engaged and on your toes.
董明伦可以被称作地地道道的沃尔玛子弟，从学生时期第一次到沃尔玛打工算起，与沃尔玛的渊源至今已30年，期间从未跳过槽。
You started your career in Walmart even before your college time, right?
I actually started with Walmart just to try and find a job for summer to help pay my way through school. I didn't expect to love Walmart and to spend my entire career in retail, but I've really found a special place.
Why you fall in love with Walmart even from that early time?
The first thing that comes to mind are the people. I really love the people that I work with and the people at Walmart.
I noticed that during your MBA program, you joined Walmart as a full-time employee. Why? Even during the study, you joined. Why? Did they pay you for the MBA tuition?
No, but I was trying to earn some money to pay my way through school. My first job was working at a warehouse, unloading trailers. But later on, I was an assistant manager in one of our stores while I was pursuing my graduate degree.
I see.
And it helped me pay the way through school, and also learned a lot by working in the store. And then later on, after I graduated, I was able to get a job in our merchandising department, working in the home office, which I just loved. The idea of trying to understand what customers want to buy and where they're going next and provide that to them, anticipating where they're going, is a great challenge and something that I still enjoy very much even today.
When the Walmart announced that you were selected as CEO and president and to replace Mike Duke, media used the word suddenly.
It's a big responsibility. And I had the opportunity to meet our founder, Sam Walton. And so I understand the special responsibility that this is, and am excited about it, but also take it very seriously.
You used to work with him, so you know more about him even then than Mike, actually, because Mike joined the company in 1995.
It would be an exaggeration to say I worked with Sam Walton. I was a very young person, but I did get to meet him, and I certainly watched him in meetings and in leading the company, and still try to today carry his enthusiasm and his long-term mindset and think like an entrepreneur. I think in business, you have to always be willing to take risk, reinvent your business, and be very close to the customer and move with speed like an entrepreneur would. So even though Walmart's a bit older now and a bit larger, I think we still need to think like a small business person, you know, serving one customer at a time. And as long as we do that, we can continue to be successful here in China and around the world.
Did you plan to move up the executive ladder from the very beginning, or when did you start to realize that the future opportunity belongs to you?
Well, I think the reality is I just really enjoyed what I was doing and tried to do the best that I could at the responsibility I had at the time. At one point, my dream job would have been to lead the merchandising team. So my career aspiration pretty much ended with that kind of idea because I like the challenge of serving customers so much.
So over your 30 years career in Walmart, have you had any crisis or a big challenge like that?
Sure, I'm sure that most people in a career that long will have challenges and mistakes. I actually had my first one on my first day at work. Believe it or not, Shuli, I rear-ended the car of my boss on my very first day working for Walmart. So I started off a bit rocky, but he was forgiving, and obviously it's worked out.
董明伦提及的个人危机并未影响他在公司的发展，然而沃尔玛却因2年前的墨西哥贿赂事件遭受重创。2012年4月，美国《纽约时报》揭露了沃尔玛为了在墨西哥快速扩张，用行贿的方式获得开店许可。此后，沃尔玛陷入了旷日持久的内部调查。
Also, I'm very interested about anti-corruption topics. I read New York Times, which published that very long investigative story in 2012 about your Walmart's corruption deal. And the New York Times win the Pulitzer next year because of the investigative story. And you were the CEO of Walmart International then. Your response and action since then?
Well, one of our core values as a company is integrity. And as you mentioned before, I've been with Walmart for a long time, and I'm really proud of the culture and the integrity that we have as a company. We've been investing in compliance for years now to have resources that enable us to make sure that we're living up to our expectations related to that. So compliance covers 13 different areas for us, including things like food safety, but also how we handle permits and licenses to make sure that we get those permits and licenses in absolutely the right way in every instance. So I'm proud of what we've done over the last few years to invest in compliance. Our objective is to create a world-class compliance organization that functions in every single country where we operate, and we're well on our way to doing so.
So why do Walmart standards slip when entering emerging markets outside the U.S., like Mexico?
We have the same standard everywhere. Our business is a people business, and it requires training, and it requires some time to mature, and we try to accelerate that process as much as possible.
What do the Chinese anti-corruption environment mean to Walmart?
Well, the leadership of the country is being very bold, in my view, and it's encouraging that the country is willing to do what's necessary to set a very strong foundation for growth. This country has so much potential. So as it relates to us, as I mentioned before, our compliance program is an area of interest, and we'll continue to invest to make sure all of our programs are in place and well functioning.
Walmart has spent millions to do inside investigation for its own integrity standard. Would this investigation hinder international growth?
Well, it takes different components to drive the growth outside of the United States as well as in the United States as it relates to compliance. The first thing I would mention would be talent, having expertise. And one of the things we've done as a company, particularly over the last few years, is to make sure that we've got experts in all the right categories relative to those areas that we touch as a business. It also takes mature processes, and we've been strengthening those processes. And then thirdly, supporting those with systems to try and automate as much of this as we can so that our record keeping and other things are in good shape.